What's up, you sick motherfuckers? Mike Krueger here for another episode of Krueger's Corner. I'm joined here by producer Todd Loya.
What's up?
Pugs Dread.
Namaste. What's up?
Daniel Shaw just disappeared real quick.
His internet. There we go.
There we go. And
All
Daniel Shawn.
We think.
For now.
It may be assimilation. But so tonight on this episode of Krueger's Corner, it's going to be something a little bit different. I don't know if we've really done this on the Flesh Wound Features page yet, but I'm going to be showing off some of my Bandai Movie Monsters collection of the Godzilla figures. Also, there's a Mothra figure in here too. Just these are classic Bandai figures that I've acquired over. I had one of them for a while, and it's kind of my prized possession, so I'll probably talk about it first. But a lot of these I've gotten recently, and a lot of these are newer Bandai Movie Monster figures. And I'm also going to be carding them, which is kind of the thing you should do with these figures. I kind of got this from the YouTuber Shin Godzilla. He cards his figures to preserve the tags and stuff because if you don't know, the tags are pretty important with these figures. It really increases the value of them if you have the tag still on. I've had so many of these damn things when I was a kid that I used to rip the fucking tags off all the time. So I'm sure I've lost thousands and thousands of dollars. So now that I'm collecting these again, I'm going to try to right that wrong and keep these intact.
How are you going to stop yourself from playing with them, though? That's the one thing.
Oh, dude, right? Like that's the one thing I'll say. Like, especially with like figures, like the NECA figures and stuff. There's so much articulation. You just want to fucking sit around and make movie scenes on your desk. I've definitely been there over the past couple of years. So the first figure I'm going to be taking out is, and this is one of the older, this is actually called the Toho Kaiju series line from Bandai, which came out like in the 90s. And this is Rainbow Mothra, which is from the Mothra Rebirth series that I think we'll probably eventually cover on a Kaiju Chaos. Yeah. But this is a figure straight from the 90s. This is a pretty I was so happy that I got this I got it from a comic book shop recently, and the fact that they had a figure that was back from the 90s was pretty awesome, and I was really excited to get it. The Rebirth series of Mothra is really good. I know our buddy Donald on Facebook had checked them out recently. Shout out to Donald. And I know he liked them. If you like Ghidorah, I think they're definitely worth checking out. If you like that monster, there's definitely a couple of iterations of him in that series that will bring I think I already talked about it on our Kaiju show, but Death Ghidorah and there's like literally a scene of Ghidorah destroying some dinosaurs in like 60 million BC. Like, there's a lot of cool shit in that series with Ghidorah. So yeah, when you card them, it's not, it isn't lined up perfectly, but these are
protects it though, keeps it straight.
Yeah, protects it. That's the main thing, is keeping it straight and protecting it from just any further damage it would get, just being on the shelf over the years. But these are the Ultra Pro 3-inch by 4-inch regular top loader cards. You can get them on Amazon. I said,
they're baseball card protectors, right?
Yes.
Or
yes.
Card,
or Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon.
I know.
Yeah, I think they say, I can't remember what it was. I think they say like baseball card protectors on Amazon, but it is $13 for a pack of 25. So definitely worth it. So the next figure I'm going to be pulling up, and this is a recent one. This is Burning Godzilla from Godzilla vs Destroyer. And this is a 2019 re-release from Bandai Movie Monsters. has pretty good paint app. This is definitely top 3 favorite Godzilla films for me, so I had to get them when I saw them from the store. And I think Pugs, especially you, since you love Satan like me, you will love Destroyer when we get to that point.
I'm ready.
Godzilla vs. Destroyer was basically the last film in the Heisei era that was more or less there to end the Godzilla series for a while. It didn't end up working that way because Toho saw what we did with the 98 Godzilla American remake.
Hold my sake. I gotta fix this shit.
Yeah, they're like, all right, well, Godzilla ain't gonna fucking be over for too long because we need to go right this wrong.
Oh yeah, and we do have coming up soon. We're gonna have that King Kong vs Godzilla show with 98 and 80, whatever.
That's gonna be,
77.
it's gonna be interesting revisiting the 98 Godzilla because when I was a kid I liked it, but I watched it I think around
You know what, Krueger? Why don't we save that? That'll be good for the show. That's a teaser. That's a teaser because I got a story about that movie too.
Yeah, definitely. So check that out in the future. But there you go, all tagged up and ready to be preserved. So next figure I'm going to grab is going to be my favorite figure out of the bunch. This is the figure that started it all for my new collection, and this is the Shin Godzilla movie monster series figure.
Nice.
In this line, there's also the Kamada-kun and Shinagawa-kun versions of Godzilla that he morphs from Kamada-kun to this guy you see right here. And yeah, Shin Godzilla has become a favorite over the years. It's up there with the original film for me. Sometimes I think Shin Godzilla is even better just because with technology and just the way that movie is, that creature encompasses the tragic, the tragic nature of kaiju films where the creature is just living in pain. And that's the best thing about Shin Godzilla. I think he's just, you see him mutate throughout the film and he's bleeding out his gills and it's just like basically 24. Yeah, Pugs, trust me, you're going to love that one when we get eventually. It is one of the, like I said, other than the original 1954 film, I think it really encompasses the part of kaiju cinema that is focusing on the tragic monster stance of it. But yeah, so there he is all tacked up. And this one you can still get for pretty cheap. And I recommend you do that because with a lot of these figures, you can get them for cheap when they first get released. But once they go out of print and they stop making them, they start really raising their prices. Like that Rainbow Mothra, I was very lucky to get the price that I did for it. So now we're going to be taking a look at the King of the Monsters 2019 Godzilla, which I know King of the Monsters, Dan, you said that's one of your favorites.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
It's my personal favorite out of the Monsterverse. This is a great figure. I love the paint apps on it. The teeth could be done a little bit better, but the spines and everything look nice. And yeah, I love King of the Monsters, man. Like it, to me personally, and some of this could be a little bit biased because I love Michael Daugherty and I love, what he did with Trick or Treat and Krampus. Yeah. I mean, Krampus is literally my favorite fucking Christmas movie.
It's no Silent Night, Deadly Night. I'll just say that.
Well, if you're looking at the slasher portion of it, like I'll give you that. Silent Night, Deadly Night is probably one of the best slasher Christmas horror films. But as far as just Christmas horror in general, Krampus and Christmas cruelty.
So, Dan, which Christmas movie you throwing out there? Dan's a Santa sleigh guy, so there we go. We ran the gambit.
Well, All Through the House is a good indie one. I think we all like.
Yeah, we like. I dug it, but me personally, Krampus and Michael Daugherty, anything he works on, I'm like, I'm checking that shit out immediately. And I've been like that since he put out his film for or his Trick or Treat film.
Trick or Treat, awesome.
I thought what
that shit.
Yeah, but I thought what he did with King of the Monsters was impressive, and I had to add his King of the Monsters Godzilla Bandai figure into my collection. He's the first person that has made me cry in a movie theater in a long time. Like Godzilla going thermonuclear, that like just Godzilla versus Destroyer, who I already showed earlier, like just that whole thing brought me right back to when I first saw Godzilla versus Destroyer. So yeah, fucking made me tear up in movie theaters with joy.
That's fucking awesome.
Dan hasn't done that since Fast and the Furious 9.
All right, since you said that, that was my brother's wife, and that's why I don't like her, because
fuck Paul Walker. Is that all?
So
I'm not crying over him.
I don't blame you. But so Pugs, this one's gonna pop you because I know you are hashtag King Kong or Team Kong. But this is the Kong from the Godzilla versus Kong line. I don't know if we're going to be getting a Godzilla from that line. I do hope we do, because I think his atomic breath and certain aspects to him are a little bit different than the Michael Daugherty King of the Monsters Godzilla. But I had to get him because like him and Michael Daugherty's Godzilla sitting together on a shelf just reminds me of how badass Godzilla versus Kong was. And like Godzilla versus Kong is interesting, man, because like I've been recently diving into the Kaiju community recently, and like you'd be surprised how many people really dislike that movie. And like I was one of them when I first watched. Like I didn't hate it or anything, but I watched it and I was like, man, it could have been so much better. But after watching in the theaters and after watching it just multiple times, I really do enjoy it. It's my second favorite MonsterVerse movie for sure, and I'm very excited that Adam Wingard is possibly getting the green light to do a Kong movie next. There's rumors out there that he will be doing Son of Kong. I don't know how accurate that may be, but I just think I don't even want to, like, to be honest, as just a fan, I don't even want a Son of Kong. I want Kong Hollow Earth and just watching Kong hold shit down in Hollow Earth, because I feel like that's kind of what the end of the movie got. Kong's going to hold shit down in Hollow Earth. Godzilla's going to hold shit down on surface. But I would be all in for that. So here you go. So my next
I used to imagine Krueger just surrounded by all these figures.
Oh, dude, it is. It's a fucking ordeal.
Yeah,
I'm not talking.
It's an ordeal.
Dude, recently too, because like I've seen a couple of figures on eBay that I haven't had the chance to get. Like there's a Shin Godzilla where his mouth is all fucking opened up like the Predator and shit, and I'm just like, fuck, I need it. So my next figure, this is going to be this whole line that I'm going to show right now is all from the Godzilla Singular Point Anime. So I just will say, if you haven't seen the anime, if you don't want to be spoiled on what the monsters are, I don't know how you haven't already, because there's been so many trailers out there. All these monsters are in the trailer, FYI, so you won't be spoiled if you see that. But if you don't want to see any of them, probably leave now. But if you do, here we go. So I'm going to start with a very interesting character, which kind of calls back to Shin Godzilla a little bit. And this is Godzilla Aquatalis from the anime series. Very much a redesign on Titanosaurus, I feel like, with giving it more of a traditional aquatic marine reptile, prehistoric marine reptile feel. Kind of reminds me of the Mosasaurus from Jurassic Park a bit. But I really do like this figure. If you've seen Shin Godzilla, you kind of know this is Godzilla Aquatalis. So there's multiple versions of Godzilla in the series. And also, just I think the figure doesn't do the model that's actually in the anime justice. It's a really sick little thing, and the Godzilla Singular Point Anime. If you have a VPN, you can check it out on Netflix Japan. And if you do a little bit further digging, you can find some American dubs of it or American subtitles for it. But it's really impressed me. It's by far my and this is a bold claim, but it's by far my favorite thing that has been Godzilla since Shin Godzilla. Even like over the MonsterVerse stuff. And I know, Todd, you are a Showa era fan.
I
you
am.
Really, you do enjoy that era, and I think that out of anybody, the Showa era fan of Godzilla is going to enjoy Singular Point the most because there's so many, and not even just the Showa era, but there's so many references from past eras and past creatures and stuff that have been in that series. And it just, but the Showa era, I think it encompasses the a little bit of the craziness and a little bit of the campiness of Showa era. And I just, all I'm going to say, if you're a Jaguar fan, definitely check it out. So the next figure, and I'm coming down to my last couple. This is Manda, a good old Manda. His first appearance was in the Showa era movie Atragon, and he's been in a couple Godzilla movies. He was in Destroy All Monsters and then Final Wars, but this is his redesign for the anime Singular Point Anime. Also has a nice tag on there, and definitely like when I was a kid, I actually really Manda was one of my favorites because I don't know what it was, but like a lot of the kaiju when I was a kid, like I kind of liked the ones that didn't have that much history behind them. And like Manda did have his own movie. He's not like or she, maybe I should be referring it to. She doesn't like have a huge portion in the movie Atragon, but it's enough to kind of have a nice little backstory and how she ties into the Godzilla universe. Definitely Manda in Final Wars, though. Pretty sure she's in the opening scene. That's a really badass sequence. So got her all tagged up. So this next one, I'm down to my final couple, is Angerus, who we will be doing a review, or we will be doing a commentary on Godzilla Raids again pretty soon. And Angerus is actually the first kaiju that Godzilla fights in the series of just ever. And basically based off of Ankylosaurus, and just the redesign that they did for Singular Point looks very much like a hedgehog and kind of like a dinosaur too. And there's a little feature, these little flaps on the side of him in the Showa era movie Godzilla Raids again. His flaps kind of came up in promotional shots, and he almost looked like kind of like a cockroach, like with the way its back looked. I just thought it was a cool homage that they showed in the Singular Point series, and just the Singular Point series. I know when it comes out on, it's coming out in June for American release. I think it's going to be dubbed with English by then. When that comes out, I think everybody needs to check it out because it's impressive, man. It really has surprised me, just because the last anime series we got was this really bad Godzilla Earth anime series, and we got like a trilogy of those films, and they just weren't very good, and they weren't very good, and like I think it kind of took the spirit. Like a lot of people going into the Godzilla Singular Point anime series thought it was going to be as bad as the Netflix one, and it really isn't. It's eons better, and like I said, it's one of my favorite things. So the main event, we got Godzilla Ultimate from the anime series.
Wow.
And he's an awesome figure. If you see him, they give him. I talked about this in our Godzilla King of the Monsters commentary that's coming up pretty soon. But I always loved the fangs that they would give Godzilla in the earlier designs. And they're accentuated in some designs, but I'm really glad that they kind of give him like some saber teeth in this one.
Yeah.
And I'm really excited to see how this whole series is going to play out, because so far we're 7 episodes in and Godzilla hasn't been on screen in this form yet. So it's going to be one of those things where it's really building up to the Godzilla destruction scene. And I'm very excited to see how this whole series is going to play out. Like I already said, it really does give you homages to all the eras of Godzilla, but I think especially the Showa era, especially with the soundtrack, things like Jet Jaguar. If you're a fan of Godzilla versus Megalon, which is Jet Jaguar's debut, I think you definitely need to check this out. And if anything, just Godzilla hasn't really been since Shin Godzilla. Toho hasn't put it in a cinematic universe, and right now it looks like Singular Point is going to be what we get from Toho for now. And I just think anybody that's a fan of the series as a whole, with all the references it gives, you definitely need to check it out. And I definitely recommend these Bandai movie monster figures. It's been fun kind of just talking about each figure and where it comes from and everything, and just tagging these guys up. So maybe I'll do some more of these in the future when I get more of them. And I hope eventually we can all talk about Godzilla Singular Point, because I think out of everybody, Todd, you're gonna like it a lot, because you're a Showa guy through and through.
But how does it compare to the Hanna-Barbera series?
I mean, the Hanna-Barbera series didn't have gore. That's all I'm gonna say. So like,
but it had Godzuki, so I'm just gonna.
Speaking of which, Hanna-Barbera, I think the Mondo shop is going to be selling a Hanna-Barbera figure soon.
Oh, wow.
So I may have to get that, and maybe I'll do an unboxing.
I may have to get that.
Oh, dude, it looks nice, and like Mondo's been pretty cool with kaiju shit recently. They came out with a fucking Pulgasari figure not that long ago that I'm kind of kicking myself in the ass for not getting. But yeah, this has been fun. Another episode of Krueger's Corner, a little bit different than what I would usually do on here, but I think I'm going to do more of these, maybe introduce some more kaiju fans to our channel. We're primarily a horror movie channel, but
hey man, those are giant monsters. That shit counts.
Yeah. If we could talk about Baby's Mama on one show, we could definitely talk about
yeah, for sure. And so just like, share, subscribe, comment on what you think of these figures. I'd really like to know what else anybody else has to say about each figure I went over. If you want these card protectors, like I said, they're on Amazon. And with some of these figures, like these Singular Point figures, I got from Amazon Japan. So you can definitely check them out. I think if you do a bulk order, like I got 5 figures with my order, and it wasn't too bad on shipping. I ended up coming to like $100, which isn't too bad when you get like 5 figures. So I think checking out Amazon Japan is definitely one of the best ways you could find these Bandai movie monster figures. If not, check your local comic book shops. They may have them. unfortunately, there isn't a big retailer that puts them out yet. But let's hope for the future, and let's hope for the future of fucking Godzilla. I can't. Dude, I'm over the moon that in the same year I've had American Godzilla movie and a Toho Godzilla anime series. So I'm definitely hype as hell as a Godzilla fan in this new era that we have, and I just hope it keeps on with more content and more fucking toys that I can spend my money on.
Fuck yeah.
But yeah, so like I said before, like, share, subscribe. Check us out on Patreon, patreon.com/fleshwoundfeatures. It starts at just $1. And we have exclusive and early content posted on there. So if you want to see some of our reviews or maybe some of our commentaries early, you can check it out on there. And other than that, like, share, subscribe. We're on all the social medias, including the Slasher app. And without further ado, say goodnight, Dan.
Good night, guys. Guten Tag.
Heil shine.
Stay sick, motherfuckers.
I'll see you in Disneyland.